Information provided is for illustrated purposes only and does not constitute investment, tax, or legal advice. Information has been obtained from sources that are deemed to be reliable, but its accuracy and completeness are not guaranteed. Indices are unmanaged and do not allow for direct investment. Past performance cannot guarantee future results. The host of this show, nor Grandview Asset Management, accept any liability for the use of the information discussed. Consult with a qualified financial, legal, or tax professional prior to taking any action.
Thank you for tuning in to Investing for Eternity. I'm here with my co-host, Bruce Smith, the real Bruce Smith, the only true Bruce Smith in central Pennsylvania. I know there's a few pretenders out there, Bruce, but you're the real guy.
Yeah, and they do things that totally opposite what we do.
Yeah, and then we also have our co-host, Mary Kate Trzynski.
Yep, you got it.
And I think there's only one Mary Kate Trzynski in Pennsylvania.
Well, there's another Mary Trzynski, maybe in Ohio or something. She's an author. I googled.
But you don't
myself
have the
once.
same problem that Bruce does. There's a lot of people that have the name Bruce Smith.
Yeah, that's true.
There's a
I'm
couple of
probably
William
the
Parkers
one.
out there, but nobody in the financial industry that's William Parker.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah. Well, I don't know. That must be popular in financial. My name. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you don't sell annuities like the other Bruce Smith.
No. Not even licensed to do it.
So you stay away from that topic altogether. Shout out this week. I'd like to say hello to Ellen Carota. Ellen is a new client and an old friend. I've known her from St. Margaret. I was on parish council with her back, it had to be 20 years ago at St. Margaret Mary's. That's a long time. It's an old friend. So she's a nurse. I still call it Holy Spirit Hospital. I don't know what people call it. I mean, is it Penn State now?
It's Penn State.
Yeah, it's always going to be Holy Spirit to me.
Oh, yeah. I agree.
Right? It's never going to change.
So you were
osteopathic it's always osteopathic. What was the name of the hospital up on 3rd Street, North 3rd Street? What was that?
Oh, gosh. It was
What's the Polyclinic?
Polyclinic. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Well, times have changed.
Either Penn State or UPMC, they're buying up everybody.
And boy, they do a lot of advertising.
They spend a ton of money in advertising.
Yeah, billboards everywhere.
And commercials. And on the radio.
Yeah.
And I get stuff in the mail from them.
And right behind them are the personal injury attorneys with their advertising. I don't know if there's a correlation between those two, you know.
The hospitals versus the personal injury attorneys.
Yeah.
Joe's over here going the 2s and the 7s.
And the 3s.
I told you guys I have them all memorized.
Yeah.
I can do the jingles.
Yeah.
No, we don't want that. We don't want to bring that to the show. Let's talk a little bit about the market. Interest rate, inflation seems to be rearing its ugly head. Last week, the market sold off, but this week, even though the 10-year Treasury, Bruce, was up, the market seemed to has good days and bad days. You just can't put rhyme and reason together.
1.6 seems to be a ceiling for the 10-year. But regardless of the news out there, it should be going up.
I think it's going to be at 1.75 within the next couple of months on the 10-year Treasury.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense as is the gold and the Bitcoin and even how the market's reacting to everything. But we had a week of retail stocks earnings. They brought up inflation, they brought up prices, they brought up supply chain, and none of them seem to be very worried about it. We're fine. Walmart CEO.
They're charging more money for the same products, right?
Yeah, but they acknowledge it. But they said they're not going to have trouble with having employees working the stores. Target said that. CEO, the Walmart CEO said the same thing. It's like no problem.
Well, I think they've kind of come to a point, Bruce, where they realize they're not in a market where they can hire holiday help. You remember, in years past, as you went into the holiday season, Walmart and Kohl's and Target and Lowe's and Home Depot would all hire extra help for the Christmas holidays. I don't think they're going to be able to do it this year.
No, I think they've already worked out an arrangement with employees. If you want to work additional hours, they pay you more. Which I think some employees will say, "Hey, yeah, I'll take you up on that." But I didn't see any time or concerned or the run for the door from these the retail CEOs. Home Depot, Lowe's, Walmart.
They all had pretty good earnings too.
All had good earnings. Macy's had good earnings on Thursday.
Right.
Believe it or not.
There was somebody else on Thursday had pretty good earnings too. I can't think about who it was. It slips my mind.
Yeah.
We might-
I have Macy's. Bath and Body Works had good earnings. Obviously, NVIDIA, Tyson's Food. I know we talked about them last week.
There goes the Chicken McNuggets at the Parker
Chicken.
family.
Yep. Home Depot, Advance Auto Parts, but they said they have headwinds with parts. That would make sense in the auto industry, Advance Auto Parts. And some of the CEOs said, yeah, we're passing on some of the prices. Others we're absorbing. When I see that or hear that, that means they're squeezing their suppliers.
Right. And Walmart is famous for squeezing their suppliers.
Oh, yeah, big time. Yep.
With profitability.
Yeah.
But, we just met with a client this past week, Bruce, who's in the steel industry, and he said at the beginning of COVID, steel was at $500 a ton, right? Mm-hmm. Now it's at $2,000 a ton.
Well, it's good steel.
It's gone up 4 times.
Yeah, it's good U.S. steel. How's that?
400%.
Yeah.
In a year and a half. Which means cars and everything else are going to eventually start costing more money. What's gasoline selling at right now?
$3.65.
Is it $3.65?
Yeah. And I did see some numbers. I didn't bring them along, but what the cost of your Thanksgiving dinner is going to be.
A lot more than it was last year.
A lot more.
Is there a run on turkeys? That you were telling me a little bit about that.
There was. A lot of these CEOs talked about shopping early. Well, I think they say that because they want to see their numbers. But I think people don't want to pick up a turkey 1 or 2 weeks ahead of time and not have one in the freezer at the Giant or Carnes or wherever you go.
The 10-year yield last week was at 1.56. This week the yield was at 1.59. It jumped up to 1.62 or 63, right?
Yep.
Slid down a little bit. Gold stayed flat. It was $18.68 an ounce last week. It's $18.68 an ounce this week. But it's up from where it was in the 1700s.
Yeah.
Right.
And I don't think that's a stocking stuffer. Put some gold coins in, your.
Oh, it used to be.
Yeah, but they look pretty. They're shiny.
Yeah. Wouldn't you like to have a Bitcoin, Bruce, for Christmas?
One Bitcoin, I'll take it. At 60,
That would pay for a lot of that.
At 60,000.
That new car you want to order.
Yeah. Well, pretty close. Yeah.
We just met with a gentleman whose family owns a Chrysler dealership in Newport.
Right.
And he said, how many months did they have to wait, Bruce? Was it a couple months to get a car? 3 or 4 months?
I thought it was 3 to 6 months.
For a new car?
Yeah, and he has an empty lot, too.
Yeah. He had 6 new cars, he said.
Yeah.
Or 5 or 6 new cars.
Crazy.
Yeah, the days of, and Ford was one of our stock picks of the week a couple weeks ago. Car dealerships are going to be extremely profitable because they're not going to carry 200, 300 cars in a lot anymore. I mean, those days are over.
Yeah. Later in the show, we're going to talk about Rivian.
Oh, yeah.
That was a headliner this past week. I don't say if it moved the markets, but it was. And you and I have talked about this, Bill. It just reminds us of the tech bubble.
I think the tech bubble's starting. What happened in 2001 is happening all over again. Mm-hmm. I really do.
Yeah.
And one of the things that really struck me the other day, Bruce, is that the Staples Center is now going to be called a crypto Isn't that
Yeah.
like kind of the kiss of death?
Yeah, yep, crypto.com. So that's the thing, and I made a list of some of the companies. You see, I can find it in my notes.
We'll get to it later in the show.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
Right. And silver went from 25.34 to 25.13, so it's down a little bit. Oil was around $80 a barrel last week, approximately, if I remember correctly. I can't be certain about that, but it's only at 77.99, so it dropped a little bit. The price of oil dropped a little bit.
And they want Biden to open up the strategic petroleum reserves, and Russia is looking at it as well. I mean, Russia has more oil than anybody. Of course, the shell guys out there are saying, "Hey, why don't you knock on our door? We'll get you plenty of oil." No. Let's go to our reserves. Let's not pump more.
Well, we have our own oil, fracking and oil and natural gas. The reason why they're not using it is that they're not union.
Yeah.
If they were union based, Bruce, if they had a union, we would be fracking left and right.
Well, Biden is trying to dig out of this hole that inflation is his fault. So
Yeah, it is his fault. We didn't have it when Trump was around. That's for certain. So Bitcoin, Bruce, slid from 64,000 a Bitcoin down to 60,000 this past week. So it dropped a little bit.
I don't know
Why?
why or what.
Yeah, people were taking profits.
Yeah, just that's Bitcoin.
Yeah. You know, as we go into Thanksgiving, we're going to have low volume trading.
Oh yeah, it's
There-
always. Yeah, it's always like that the week of Thanksgiving.
I can't believe it's Thanksgiving already. This year went by so quickly. You know,
I know it's
Christmas is here in a couple of weeks.
yeah. Well, the market's closed on Thursday, obviously, but in one of the rare instances, Friday after Thanksgiving, there's an early close at 1. So we don't see a lot of news affecting the
Well,
market.
you guys got off on Friday and on Monday, right?
Yeah, but I'll be in the office Monday.
I'll be there.
Yeah, that doesn't. Now, if I was a hunter, I'd be out hunting.
Yeah.
I was out hunting deer.
Yeah. It's that time of year.
Yep.
Are we ready to take a break, Joe?
Yes, we are.
All right. We're going to take a break. You're listening to Investing for Eternity. Go to investingforeternity.net to learn a little bit more about biblically responsible investing. You've been listening to WHYF 720 AM Holy Family Radio. We're back. Once again, thank you for tuning in to Holy Family Radio. And also thank you for your support if you're supporting the station. If you're not supporting the station, you can always go to the website. Right, Joe? That's right. And we need the support. Let's go back to, this is a segment we call Seriously. But before, I guess this could be part of Seriously. The U.S. Congress of Bishops, right, decided not to really take a stance on communion for politicians that support a pro-choice policy.
Yeah. It looks like they discarded it.
USCCB.
But the vote was
USCCB. I don't
what
know
they
what's
came
wrong.
at. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're afraid of the Pope.
I think they're afraid of losing people. There are a certain portion of the Catholic Church that are pro-choice, and I think they're worried about alienating those people.
Right.
I don't. That's the only thing I can get. I mean, why would they skirt the issue?
Well, we talked about this last week. What's the definition of a good Catholic? I think that's still out there as well. And,
Pope John Paul II.
But the vote they had was 222 in favor of the thing they came out with, 8 against and 3 abstentions. So it was not even close. So,
Well, there were 8 guys that stuck to their guns and said, "No,
yeah.
I'm not going to do it." I think they're. You think they're worried about donations, weekly contributions in the coffers? You think if they come out and say you can't be pro-life, and take communion at the same. I mean, pro-choice. You can't be pro-choice and take communion at the same time. That they're going to turn off, 20 or 30 or 27% of Catholics, and they're gone forever. I mean, what are they worried
I
about?
don't know. Can the Pope fire you as a bishop?
He'd have a hard time doing it, but I'm sure he could.
I mean, that's the only thing I would be. I'd be afraid of my job. If I
No,
voted.
I don't think. I don't think they're worried about their jobs. I think their jobs are secure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you had to do something pretty bad to lose.
Yeah, yeah. But
The other serious news.
yeah, seriously, seriously. Yeah, these are
Seriously.
yeah.
40% of American trucking capacity is left on the table every day.
Yeah, they're trying to figure out this
Bottleneck of supply.
the bottleneck and everything else. I know we have container ships off the ports, and they need to work hard at the ports. But then when you have the trucks only driving 6.5 hours when they can drive up to 11, we're not using the capacity. This is done by an MIT expert in this whole area. He was testifying before Congress. But
Well, I watched a little bit of 60 Minutes, and I try not to watch any news, but it was on after a football game, and it was about trucking. And they say that some truck drivers are waiting like 4 or 5 hours just to drop off a container, only to be turned away when they get there because they say there's no room to drop it off.
yeah.
And some of them are just carrying around empty containers for days.
Yeah, that's why it's at 6.5 hours. They're only spending 6.5 hours with a full loaded truck when they have an additional, 4 or 5 hours that they could do in the day. Yeah, they don't make money unless they have a full load.
I think we should send out some young college kids from MIT or Harvard or Yale and let them go out and figure out the trucking
Well, they're
bottleneck. What do you think?
Well, they're also looking at allowing 18 to 20-year-olds to drive truck.
That
I don't know about that one.
I'll walk to work before
That's
that
a seriously
so you're gonna let an 18-year-old drive a
a big rig.
10-ton tractor
Oh
trailer?
man, I don't know about that one.
No. I'm worried about them just driving a car,
Yeah.
let alone a tractor trailer.
Me too. I don't drive. I don't get in the car with my sister.
Can you imagine what the insurance premium is for a trucking company?
Oh, it has to be
Wow.
a tremendous amount of money.
And another one is just for everybody out there. It's called. There's a study done. 43% of adults say they have financially cheated on their partner. Now, this is one way to get in trouble with your spouse is hide money or hide a bill, hide cash. It can't be good. But they say 43% of adults said they committed a financial deception. 39% had a purchase, bank account, statement, bill, or cash. I can see purchases. You want to buy something, what maybe your spouse. But boy, when they find out, I don't know. But this study also said that after the deception is found out about, 19% said they were closer afterwards.
My wife finds out everything that I do, so how can I hide anything from her?
I
Women always know.
It's just not. It's not worth it, Mary Kate. I mean,
this is
whatever-
what I'm talking about. 43%. It's not worth it.
No,
It's
no. They find out,
yeah.
They do.
right?
Well,
They do.
if you learn anything from the show, don't cheat financially on your significant other.
No, and some people even have a secret bank account.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Anyway.
Let's talk a little about the economy, and the markets out there. China's retail sales in October grew 4.9% year over year. The estimate was 3.5. So, are we buying more product from China, or is China buying more product from China?
I don't know, but that number used to always be higher. It used to be in the 8-9% range.
Right.
Yeah. But still, it beat the estimates. So,
The GOP has a report out. Bruce.
yeah.
They say that inflation hurts low-income Americans the most, and they blame the Democrats for the jump in price.
I agree with this. Yeah, the lower income do get hurt more. And anyway, you got to buy food, you got to buy gas. It does hurt the lower income people.
Well, even if they're making more money at work, it's being eaten up by the cost of energy and food and groceries. Don't you think?
I agree. I agree. I mean, the GOP has something they can hang on come midterm elections.
I'll tell you what, the Republicans did very well this past election.
Yep, they sure did. Yep.
I think they're going to do well in the next election.
Yeah. And I know we have, this is further along in the show here, but Kamala Harris, I think the Democrats and Biden might want to get rid of her, but I don't see that happening.
How do you get rid of a vice president?
I know.
Biden doesn't have the courage to fire his vice president.
No.
He can't run on one car parade.
Yeah. Well,
You know?
They got to do damage control on her. So
The Goldman Sachs says inflation is going to get worse this winter before it gets better. Well, I mean, with the price of energy, you would imagine that's the case.
yeah, that's not a hard call to make.
Retail sales in October were at 1.7. The estimate was 1.5%. Ex autos, it was 1.7 versus 1.0. So 70% higher than, what they expected it to be.
The consumer spending money.
People are out spending money, no
Yeah.
doubt about it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are out in October. Believe it or not, they were out Christmas shopping.
Yeah. Econ 101, supply and demand. So the consumer is spending money. That's good for the economy, and that should be inflationary.
United Kingdom's having the same problem.
Yeah.
They report the highest inflation in a decade.
Yeah, they got higher COVID cases too. Jeez, they're getting hammered in all fronts.
There's, COVID in the United States is somewhat tame compared to other countries.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't figure it out. What do you think it's from?
Well, I think some of the mandates that they still have, the mask, vaccines have done pretty well. The response for vaccines for 5 to 11-year-olds has been really good. But most of the cases in the U.S., or what the WHO says, the World Health Organization says, is mostly from the Delta variant.
Right. Do you think that, China and the U.S. are talking about tapping their oil reserves. Do you think to falsely bring down the price of energy, or
Yeah.
to bring, why else would they do it?
Yeah, just it looks good, sounds good. You can say, "Hey, I'm doing something," but it's not a long-term solution.
Well, and mortgage refinance demand fell 5% for the week and was down 31% for the same week year over year. I think everybody that has refinance, for the most part, has already done it.
I agree.
And and home sales are starting to slow down a little bit,
Yep.
starting to cool off, which is a good thing. It was too hot. Jobless claims was 268,000 versus 260,000. So
That was positive.
kind of
Yeah.
in line.
Yeah.
No surprises there. You want to talk about Biden and Xi?
Yeah, they had a virtual summit. It was basically a Teams meeting on, but they didn't really get down to the issues.
Did Biden wear a diaper to the meeting?
No, I don't believe he did. But it basically ended up with calls for more cooperation amid tensions.
Yeah. Well, we've always been at
you know,
at tensions with China. That's
Yeah.
what
But they didn't talk about cybersecurity.
they should be
and
happy.
Hacking.
This administration is leading this country more into communism. China should be happy with that,
Yeah.
don't you think?
Yeah. Well, it looks good that they talked.
Talk about the Democratic Party. Senator Pat Leahy won't run for re-election in 2022, and he's been there since 1974. He's been there forever. It's just like Biden. Isn't Biden been there since 1974?
Yeah. It was 8. That's 8 terms that he's been there.
And he's finally going to. How old is he?
81.
No wonder he can't
Yeah.
run for another
Now, his
term.
wife has some health issues, so it's probably a good time, if he wants to be with his wife. But still, 8 terms. That's a lot. And there's a big news coming up. I couldn't find the actual date, but Biden has to make a decision on the Fed chair position, now held by Jerome Powell.
Right.
Some people are thinking that this woman who's a governor right now, Brainerd, might be selected over him, which the market could react one way or another, because apparently she's a little bit more dovish. So,
More communist.
yeah.
Yeah, that's where this
So
administration
we'll keep everybody posted on that, but that's coming up here in probably the next couple weeks.
Tyson Foods had strong earnings. That's because my son Liam eats chicken McNuggets every day. Walmart beat on revenue and earnings per share. They say they have strong grocery sales.
Yeah.
Yeah. Home Depot beat their numbers, and same-store sales were up 6.1%. And that stock did well after they
Yes.
announced this week.
Yes.
Advance Auto Parts beat on earnings and revenue, and seen higher than expected inflation headwinds. So
Yeah.
I think it's due to parts.
Yep. Availability.
I went into one to get my wife's battery changed, and did I tell you this?
No.
How many batteries a day do you think they change?
10.
35
Whoa.
a day. They have a guy that just changes batteries. That's all he does.
Wow.
That's his job. 35 a day. I can't imagine. At least that's what he told me.
Wonder where that used battery ends up.
Yeah. Shamokin. Lowe's beat on earnings and revenue. Nvidia beat on earnings and revenue. Target beat on earnings and revenue. Bed Bath and is it Bath and Body?
Bath and Body.
Bath and Body. We need to take a break. All right, you've been listening to WHYF 720 AM Holy Family Radio. We'll be right back. Thank you for tuning in. We're back. Thank you for tuning in to Investing for Eternity. Bruce and I are fee-based money managers, and Mary Kate will be one in the future. She's studying to be one, right?
Yep.
Right now you're studying to be a certified estate planner.
Yeah.
How's your studying going?
Good. Bruce, you need to catch up. I'm getting ahead of you.
You're way ahead of me.
Bruce has to get into that study mode.
Yeah, I do.
Which is a pain.
Yeah, it does take a certain mentality.
I never got out of the mentality.
Just get a glass of wine, sit down with the book, and read the first 3 chapters. And
Well-
that'll get you started.
I did that when I did those portfolio illustrations that were.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, you are busy. There's
Yeah,
no
I
doubt
cranked
about it.
those out at home on the portfolio after a few glasses of wine.
So we are fee-based money managers. We charge a fee to manage money. We do biblically responsible portfolios for clients that want BRI investing. And Bruce, it's becoming more and more of a thing. People are actually saying, I want a BRI portfolio. I don't want sin stocks in my mutual funds, my ETFs, or my portfolio.
And we've gotten at least 3 new clients that are BRI, and one is from New Jersey. He saw our Google. He Googled us and liked what we had to do, and we signed him up.
It's amazing.
Yeah. And we did.
We're getting a lot more
We did
people
a
from
Zoom
Canada.
call, and he liked what we could present for him, and he was using Vanguard, and he knew that they weren't doing what he really wanted.
Is that the Zoom you had this past week when I was in another meeting?
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering. I was going to text you and ask you how that meeting went.
Yeah. So worked out fine, but
Yeah.
you don't have to be just in Harrisburg. So.
Yeah, if you don't know about biblically responsible investing, the popular mutual funds or ETFs or things that you may be invested in go against your moral beliefs. They invest in things that promote abortion, homosexuality, pornography, LGBTQ, and things that you don't want to be invested in might be in your portfolio. And that's why go to investingforeternity.net. You can learn a little bit more about biblically responsible investing and what we do. And, the nice thing about fee-based money management, Bruce, is that our income is tied to how well they do in the portfolio. Mm-hmm. And you can be surprised at the stocks that you can own that are actually clean. Well, a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah. Or some, we have some people, in addition to PRI, they just don't like a certain company. So
yeah, I had a client wanted to get out of Facebook because of what Facebook and Twitter did to Donald Trump. That she wanted to get out of it for political reasons.
Yeah.
Not religious reasons, but political beliefs.
That's okay.
And, listen. The nice thing about our portfolios is you can actually mold the portfolio around somebody's either moral beliefs or their political beliefs.
And you know exactly what you own.
Right. It's clear. It's in black and white.
It's right there. Yep.
We use Charles Schwab as our custodian. That's where the money's held. Bruce and I are both accredited fiduciaries. I'm a certified estate planner, also a certified kingdom advisor. So I went to school to give BRI advice. And we do help a lot of people. We have a West Shore office in Mechanicsburg, and we have an East Shore office in Colonial Park. So we're very accessible. We give everybody our cell phone number so they can contact us. And Mary Kate is sitting in the meetings because she's going to be the next generation of advisors, along with my son Thomas, who's graduating from Temple this year.
She's absorbing.
Thomas will be in next week.
Oh.
Yeah.
To work or just to say hello?
No, not to work.
Well, you also said he was going to be in.
I
the
thought he
other
was.
week.
I thought he was coming. But, he showed up Saturday instead of Friday. I told you he was in the wind. He says he's coming home. I just don't know when he's coming home.
Yeah.
And he came home. I picked him up from the train station. He stayed for about a half hour at the house and drove back to Philadelphia because he was going to have to dinner with his friends. He was gone. So, but he's coming back next week. You'll see him.
Okay.
Tesla, Elon Musk sold about $7 billion worth of his shares.
Yeah. Which is not surprising. He's still the richest guy in the world. It's not a lot. Some people can read into it what they want.
Apparently, aren't they coming out with roof shingles that are solar panels? Somebody was telling us about that.
Yeah, we heard about it. They're trying to get the longevity of those batteries by putting the solar panels on the roof or maybe on a trunk or whatever.
It might happen to the next generation.
Man.
Musk and Bernie Sanders are going at it. Bernie Sanders is still, how long has Bernie Sanders been in Washington?
Oh,
DC?
God. He has to be just as much as Leahy.
It has to be since the 70s, right?
Well, he was, again,
or the 80s.
Bernie was picking on the billionaires that they have to belly up to the bar and pay more taxes. And Musk turns around and tweets, quote, "I keep forgetting that you're still alive. Want me to sell more stock, Bernie? Question mark. Just say the word." Which he did later. He did sell more.
I saw that.
Oh,
and it
man.
cracked
What
me
a
up.
boom.
Chevron got an upgrade from UBS.
Yep.
And I think it has a nice dividend yield to it, doesn't it? I don't know what it is. It's like 4.5%.
Yeah. That's one of the-
It's in our portfolios.
Yep.
Chevron. NVIDIA, which is a very well-known chip manufacturer, semiconductors. They also make hard drives for computers and so forth, artificial intelligence. The stock has rocketed.
Oh, yeah. Especially after their earnings after the bell on Wednesday. They're trading up 20%, 10%.
10%.
10%.
In a day.
Yeah.
And they had a 4-for-1 stock split.
Yep. Yeah.
Just a month and a half ago, this stock, Bruce's stock was at 200. Now it's at what, 330?
What was interesting with the rise on Thursday, the market cap is closer now to $800 billion. So it's approaching the trillion dollar mark, and there's only a select few have that.
Right. Kramer, if you watch CNBC,
Yeah.
Kramer's very popular on CNBC. He says if you want to own artificial intelligence, it's NVIDIA and Five9, right?
Yeah.
If Metaverse,
Yeah.
which is the old Facebook,
Yep.
I don't know why. I guess they call it Meta now.
Yeah. It's Meta now. I don't know. People will take a long time to get away from that and not call it Facebook. But that Metaverse is that new thing of using goggles and I don't know. It's a weird.
It's it's a new thing.
Yeah.
Unity, which I'm not familiar with.
Nope.
Roblox.
Yeah. That was an IPO last year.
Was it a SPAC or was it an IPO?
IPO.
Was it? Okay. For electronic vehicles, he says to own Rivian and Lucid. Now, I don't agree with that.
No.
Rivian hasn't sold any vehicles to my knowledge, right? And what is it currently trading at? It has a market cap of $140 billion, and they haven't sold any vehicles yet, right?
Yep.
If you look at Ford's market cap is $79 billion. So how could this be almost twice, not, let's say 80% greater value than Ford without selling a vehicle? They only have a few plants,
Yeah.
right? The cars, vans, trucks, whatever they're building, I'm sure they're very cool looking.
Yeah.
But this reminds me of the tech bubble of 2001, where the price of companies were through the roof and they had no earnings.
Yeah. They had projected earnings growth. It was a different play on PEG ratio, PEG. They called it projected earnings growth. In other words, we plan to make money next year at this rate.
Well, that's the same thing that the tech
That's
companies
exactly
do.
what, yeah.
You and I had invested money through this time period. Don't you think this is happening all over again?
Oh, yeah. Well, you mentioned crypto, Crypto.com buying naming rights to the Lakers Staples Center.
For $700 million.
Yeah, I don't know how this business I can begin. But guess what companies back in the tech bubble did the same thing and are not around anymore?
What? Who?
CMGI.
Well, they were a tech company that were trading at billions of dollars.
Oh yeah, they
Right.
I forget
Had
where
no
they put it.
earnings.
Yeah, Enron.
They're gone.
Everybody-
Enron's
yeah,
gone.
Oh, that was a classic one.
Right.
PSINet,
Right? They're gone.
Adelphia,
They're no longer in business.
MCI.
Yeah, remember MCI? How big that was?
Yeah.
You know what MCI stood for? Money coming in.
Oh,
They did.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And Network Associates, they all had naming rights of some sort, and they're not around anymore.
And this is the 2001.
Yeah.
Could be. It could be the 2001 bubble happening all over again.
Yeah, we'll see if Crypto.com does well.
Goldman Sachs came out and said Amazon's their best pick for 2022. Everybody uses it, Amazon. But Amazon's big news this past week is that they're no longer accepting Visa in the UK.
Yeah. They said their fees are too high. I don't know if this is a negotiation ploy or. And then they later came out and said, well, maybe we'll switch from Visa to MasterCard.
What's going on with PayPal and Amazon?
That's the same thing. It just drags them down. They're afraid that Amazon won't allow PayPal.
I don't think they're going to give up that relationship.
I don't know. We'll have to see how it plays out. It could be just a negotiating deal.
COVID vaccine says the Delta variant accounts for 99% of all COVID cases around the world. So it went from COVID to the Delta variant,
Yep.
right?
Yep. Not going away.
They don't even test in the United States whether you have the Delta variant or not. They just say you have COVID.
Yeah, I talked to one of our clients Wednesday evening. They were on a cruise, Viking cruise. They got tested for COVID every day.
Every day.
Every day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did they get was it a rapid test?
Yeah, I don't know how they did it, but yeah, every day. They had to show proof of vaccination first of all, but then every day they had a test taken.
Times Square is going to reopen this year to people that have proof of vaccination.
How are they going to do this? I mean,
How do you know if it's their vaccination card that they're showing you?
I don't know.
It doesn't have your name on it or anything.
I don't know. I don't define if there's a mask mandate. That I didn't see.
The White House says that 10% of 5-year-olds to 11-year-olds have already received their first COVID shots. 10% is not enough,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, but it's a good move going forward. I got my booster this past Sunday.
How do you feel?
Oh, fine.
Yeah, I got mine. I feel
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
Anyways, we need to take a break. You've been listening to Investing for Eternity. Go to investingforeternity.net to learn more about Catholic value investing. We'll be right back on the other side of the break. You're listening to WHYF 720 AM Holy Family Radio. We're back. Thank you for tuning in to Investing for Eternity at WHYF 720 AM Holy Family Radio. We certainly appreciate you tuning in. Let's talk, Bruce, a little bit about stock of the week
Yeah.
for people who invest in. It's a clean stock, meets your moral beliefs if you're a Catholic, and it's Lowe's.
Yeah.
Right?
We talked about it earlier. They had great earnings. I know. I've heard that women prefer Lowe's over Home Depot. So I don't know, but yeah, Lowe's and Home
The
Depot.
contractors seem to like Home Depot more than Lowe's. Don't you think it's more contractor based at Home Depot? At least it feels that way to me.
Yeah, it could be, but you know, and I personally, if I go into Lowe's or even Home Depot, the associates they have, they know what they're talking about.
And they know where everything's at.
That's exactly
Yeah.
They do.
I have a hard time finding my socks in the morning.
Go over to line 3 and look down by the bottom, and you'll see.
Go underneath the doorbells to the right
Yeah.
about 3 feet, and you'll find that green wire that you need to fix that microwave.
Yeah. Now, the only thing I don't like about Lowe's or Home Depot, you only need one screw, but you have to buy 10. But
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only downside.
There's still places where you can buy,
Oh yeah, the mom and pop
places.
Yeah, the True Value hardware stores are a great place if you just need single type bolt or something. But,
the Horning family owns a lot of the True Value stores in the local area. They went to their Holy Name of Jesus products and McDevitt. I know Russell went to school with Russell at Holy Name. I went to Holy Name and McDevitt. I'm a Father Mahoney product. If anybody remembers Father Mahoney, God rest his soul. Lowe's currently trading at 246, approximately, depending when you're listening to the show. The 52-week range was 147 to 255. It has a nice yield to it, Bruce, 1.39%. So while you hold on to it, you're getting paid more than what you're going to get paid in most savings accounts.
Yeah,
right?
in your 0.1 S4 savings account at PSEC.
I guess you know because you have an
I do.
account
I
there.
I have that.
It's 29 cents. Every
29
month.
cents. Yep, I get my 29 cents every month.
Lowe's says they see sales growth by baby boomers staying at home.
They and in the notes down below, Billy, it says that Lowe's, they're teaming up with AARP on an initiative to bolster aging in place options. Pretty smart on their part.
You mean people that don't want to go to a retirement community or a nursing home?
And stay at home.
Yeah.
So you might need a different bath. You might need ramps. You need doors widened. Whatever. Aging in place is what they believe is one of their big.
How many times, Bruce, have we heard people come in say they want to they're going to downsize in retirement, right, to save money because they don't need 3 bedrooms or 4 bedrooms if they had a family. But when they downsize from their 3-bedroom home to a rancher, they end up spending more money.
Go to a 55-plus community and price them out.
It's expensive.
It's expensive.
It's very expensive. And I get it. As people get older, Bruce, everybody's worried about losing all their assets to a nursing home. Now, we do work with attorneys closely to protect assets from the nursing home, even if you're in the process of going into a nursing home. So if you know somebody that's getting older and they're worried about protecting their assets, it might be you listening to the show from the nursing home. Give us a call at 717-541-1000. We'll take a look at your portfolio. We'll put you in touch with our attorneys that we work with to protect your assets. It's important because, it's $10,000 a month to $12,000 a month being a nursing home. You don't want to leave your spouse destitute.
But it could be cheaper to renovate the house. I think that's what Lowe's is betting on. And I thought it was interesting that they had this initiative with AARP to promote that and go forward.
The sad part about that is both you and I are old enough to belong to AARP.
Well, you always have to bring things like that up.
Well, you do get a discount at hotels and so forth.
I get discounts everywhere. Everyone's offering a discount. Alumni associations and things like that.
I guess, the hard thing right now, Bruce, is finding somebody to actually do the renovations for your home. I mean, I know a guy, Jeff Rice, that does renovations for me. Mm-hmm. He's booked out months. He's booked out until next spring.
Yeah. So you better get your pool order in and whatever renovations you want to do going forward. But I think this is a big deal for Lowe's on these renovations because we do have a lot of our clients saying, "I'm taking care of mom and dad," or whoever, mom or dad.
You mean like my mom and dad live with me?
Mm-hmm.
So we had to do renovations for them to move in. Mm-hmm. And pray for my mom. She just had knee surgery. She's in a tremendous amount of pain. So pray for her. She's going through a lot. My dad's 89, and he's starting to slow down. We're starting to see it cognitively. He's starting to slow down. He was always sharp as a tack. You want to talk a little bit about earnings, MK?
Pretty quiet week.
Yep.
Oh, it's because it's Thanksgiving week.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Monday the 22nd, there's not too much on there that we follow. Tuesday the 23rd, throwback to my middle school days, Abercrombie and Fitch. Another one is American Eagle.
Yeah.
I still shop there.
Aha.
Now, let me
See?
ask you a question.
Uh-huh.
Somebody came in that said they were shopping at American Eagle, said they saw like a 75 or 78-year-old woman working there. It used to be young people working there, but now they have older people working there.
Oh. Yeah, I've only ever seen young people there. So.
Yeah.
They take a ratty T-shirt, put the number 77 on it, and sell it for $25.
Basically. I just bought a pair of jeans from there. They were $70. And they had holes in them. I feel like I should get a discount. It's
yeah,
less
we-
fabric.
I get my jeans at Walmart. Anyway, go ahead.
Also on Tuesday is Best Buy and Analog Devices. And then Wednesday the 24th is Deere. And Thursday is Thanksgiving. And then Friday we already mentioned the market
Yeah.
is closing early.
Yeah. Is the market closing early on the 24th on Wednesday, or is it
No.
open the whole day?
Open the whole day. Closing early on Friday. Yeah.
Do they usually markets usually close on Friday after Thanksgiving?
Early.
Do
They've
they?
al- Yeah, they've always done that. Yeah, that they have. It's Kids Day. Everybody brings their kids to the floor. I don't think they'll do it this year with COVID, but that's always been a big deal. But I'm interested to see what Best Buy, how they come out with all the do-it-yourselfers at home. You go to Home Depot, Lowe's, and you might as well stop at Best Buy and buy a big screen. Get that 75-inch.
I want to get a bigger TV for the bedroom, but my wife won't let me.
Yeah.
Now, if it breaks, maybe if I go and fiddle with it and break it,
There you go.
right?
Yeah, get a paperclip and stick
Is that
it.
considered to be cheating financially on your spouse if you purposely break
That
your
is-
TV?
I was just about to ask
That
that.
is
that
called,
considered
that's
cheating?
called deception.
Maybe I can just unplug it, Bruce, and say it doesn't work anymore,
Yeah.
right? Then get a new one.
Yeah. Sounds like
She'd
a good idea.
She figured it out.
Yeah.
I can't do that to her. She'd make me buy another bonsai tree for her. Economic calendar, existing home sales come out Monday the 22nd. GDP second estimate earnings come out on Wednesday the 24th. Durable goods come out on the 24th. New home sales, which is going to be extremely important, I think, for the overall market. The University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment, is that a final report for the year?
Yeah.
So it's the last time they're going to report this year?
Yep.
And on Thursday, the 25th, even though the markets are closed, we have continuing claims.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Who's going to pay attention to it if the market's closed?
well, there's some people that, but durable goods, a lot of these are relating to how well the economy's doing. Durable goods.
Did I skip over that,
and
durable
the,
goods?
No, you hit that one.
Okay.
Yeah, the durable orders as well as the GDP numbers, the gross domestic product numbers. So it's a measure of how our economy is doing, which in turn affects what the Federal Reserve is doing to try to control inflation, but at the same time create jobs. So,
I don't know how much time we have left, Joe, but one of the things that we try to impress upon our clients is that the beneficiaries on your IRAs, whether it's a traditional IRA or a 401k or 403b, or if you have money in PSERS, your beneficiaries supersede your will. So if the beneficiaries are not done correctly on your IRAs, it could really create some havoc after you're gone. So especially if you have children and you want to leave money to your children equally or unequally, however you decide to set up your estate plan, your will might be done the right way, but they don't look at your will when they decide to distribute your IRA or your 401k. They look at the beneficiary form. And this is where people can create a problem for the next generation after they're gone. If they, a lot of times a form will only have 2 spaces for 2 children and you might have 4. And let's say you just leave it to the kids, hoping that they're going to equally divide it amongst the other 2. It doesn't happen.
yeah.
It creates a huge problem. And Bruce, on your bank accounts, you can add what's called a TOD, transfer on death designation, to your checking and your savings accounts and your CDs. So upon your demise, that checking or savings account or CD will go to your beneficiary without going through probate.
I think
It
it's
saves a ton of time.
Yeah. And, we practice what we preach. My individual investment account has my 2 kids on as transfer on death. I do not have them on my PSCCU account because there's hardly any money in that checking account. It's a pass through.
Well, you can put me on it.
Well, it's a pass through. You're going to get 29 cents.
That's all right.
You'll get the accrued interest for that month.
It won't even buy me a bullet.
No. So yeah, I do it, and making sure if you have a change in life type event, divorce
Or death.
or death, you got to update your beneficiaries on pension plans if you have that, or 403bs, Roths, IRAs,
Annuities. That's a big thing because there's a lot of advisors out there selling annuities. If you listen to other programs on other stations, I would say that a large majority, 85% of people on the radio, are trying to sell annuities.
How many times we have women come in and after their husband passed away and they say, I didn't know we have this much money.
Right. Or I didn't know I had an annuity.
Yeah.
What is it? How do I get out of it?
Yeah.
A lot of times you can't.
Yeah.
Or you pay a tremendous penalty to get out.
Yeah. That's because they just were never involved in it. That's all. But they didn't realize it.
Yeah. Well, you can give us a call at 717-541-1000. That's 717-541-1000. Make an appointment to sit down with us. We can review your portfolio, tell you a little bit about how much risk you're taking, whether or not it meets your moral beliefs, your religious beliefs, or your political beliefs. We're more than happy to do it. There's no pressure involved. We've been doing this, Bruce. I'm going on 29 years. This in 2022, you're going on 33, 34 years. We've been doing it for a long time, for decades. Together, we have over 60 years experience in Grandview Asset Management. In January, we'll be in business 60 years. So it's been a long time.
More years to come.
Yes. We need to wrap up the show. Once again, may God bless you, give you peace, wisdom, and joy. I will continue to pray for you in my rosary. May this weekend pick up the phone, call somebody or text them, tell them you love them, you're proud of them. It'll make your day and their day as well. We'll be back next week. You've been listening to WHYF 720 AM, Holy Family Radio. Have a blessed weekend.